Welcome back to Bookish Dives. We've done a couple of these before, where we take a book you might be curious about and really pull out the core ideas, kind of the ultimate shortcut.
Yeah, get straight to the heart of it. And today, we're diving into Florence Given's Women Living Deliciously. The whole energy behind this book, really, it seems to be this deep love for women and wanting them to, well, in her words, love the shit out of their lives. No apologies.
I love that phrase. And the mission she sets out is pretty powerful, too, that you're meant for more than just, pleasing people, shrinking yourself down, always striving. You're meant to grab that joy back and be the sun in your own life. That image she uses about not being born a human-sized Polly Pocket, all static and contained, wow, that really lands. You instantly know that feeling.
It really captures that conflict, doesn't it? The expectation is to be small and still, but inside we want to expand. And, while she definitely centers the female experience, she's clear this is really for anyone who feels like they're getting in their own fucking way.
Right.
It's basically a guide to designing your life on purpose, not just letting it happen.
And she gives it a clear structure, that roadmap you mentioned.
She does. It's broken down into 3 stages. Think of it as a process. First, excavating, digging into what's actually stealing your joy.
Okay.
Then, planting, rediscovering your own inner stuff, your resources. And finally, blooming, taking action based on all that inner work.
Got it. So let's start there with excavating, digging up the drains. What's the main conflict she sees holding us back?
Well, she frames it as this constant internal tug of war. On one side, there's the desire to expand, take risks, speak up, say no.
Yeah.
And on the other side, there's this deep-seated survival instinct to shrink, to avoid criticism, avoid being isolated, or even just making someone else feel a bit uncomfortable.
That makes sense. And she makes that point that society works really hard to convince women to be small waist, small voice, small ambition.
Exactly, because our nature isn't small.
So what's the biggest energy suck driving that pressure to shrink?
It really comes down to this constant self-monitoring, this obsession with image. She cites researcher Renee Engeln's idea of beauty sickness.
Beauty sickness. Wow, just the phrase itself. How does Given explain that?
It's basically when your emotional energy gets so tangled up in how you look that it actually stops you from, well, living. Given talks about canceling plans, missing swims, skipping sex, just because she didn't feel like pretty enough to live her own fucking life.
Oof, yeah. You become an observer of your own life instead of being in it, just stuck in your head, checking your reflection, basically. And she's clear, this isn't, natural. It's learned. It comes from control.
Right. And this is where her analysis gets really sharp. She uses this metaphor, patriarchy, as a toxic boyfriend.
Oh, interesting. How does that work?
It's about covert control. It's not like someone explicitly says, you can't wear that. Instead, it works by subtly messing with affection, with approval. So you end up choosing to make yourself smaller, to police yourself, to fit in.
Right. You internalize it.
Yeah.
You decide not to wear the bright thing or not speak up because you're kind of anticipating that negative feedback, even if it's subtle.
Yeah.
Feels like your choice, but it's actually shaped by this external pressure.
Precisely. And let's be honest, this whole image thing is fantastic for capitalism, right?
Absolutely.
It thrives on making us feel inadequate so it can sell us stuff, promising that beauty equals power, which is a false promise. It drains your wallet and your energy.
But it's not just about looks anymore, is it? She points to something maybe even sneakier now. Moral perfectionism. We're not just scared of looking wrong, we're terrified of saying the wrong thing, having the wrong opinion.
Yeah, that's a really key insight for right now. It used to be don't have opinions. Now it's you must have the correct opinions. And the fear of being labeled morally evil or just wrong, it leads to us constantly judging ourselves and, crucially, judging each other, policing each other.
So we end up kind of scolding everyone, including ourselves, into these tiny, safe, inoffensive boxes. It's exhausting.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of excavating. See where that energy is leaking out into fear, into external validation, and figure out how to redirect it.
Okay, so that leads us naturally into the next phase then. Planting inner wealth. Shifting focus inwards.
Exactly. This is where you stop just reacting to the outside world and start deliberately cultivating your own internal stability, your own soil.
And the big realization here, she says, is that you are the director, not the voice. We all have that nagging inner critic, right?
The monkey mind, Buddha called it, or the ego.
But the freedom comes when you realize, oh, wait, I'm the one hearing that voice. It's just commentary. It's making suggestions, not giving orders.
It's that background noise the brain makes,
Yeah.
what scientists call the default mode network, or DMN.
Right, the DMN.
Yeah, for listeners, that's the part of the brain that's humming along when we're just resting or thinking about ourselves. It's where rumination happens. It's basically the inner critic's home base.
And the book highlights that this voice gets super loud right before we try to do something big, something expansive.
Yes, right before they ask for a raise, or trying something new where you might fail.
So if the DMN is kind of the enemy of expansion, how do we turn the volume down?
Well, we don't just sit around waiting for joy to happen. We have to actively create gaps in that constant stream of thought.
Gaps. Okay. And this connects to actual science, right? Like Dacher Keltner's work on awe.
Exactly. Keltner's research shows that moments of awe, looking at a vast landscape, incredible art, whatever gives you that feeling, it literally quiets the DMN.
That feeling of yourself kind of dissolving for a second.
Yes, that vanishing of the self. It makes your own worries feel smaller, less important. It opens a door to feeling connected, more alive. That pause lets the joy that Given says is already inside you actually come out.
Which makes the practical steps feel really simple, actually. Not like you need hours of meditation.
Right. It's about presence. Just fully focusing on the smell of your coffee or the feeling of your breath or the taste of your food. Those little sensory things anchor you and create that gap.
So planting inner wealth also means harvesting. Authenticity. She really pushes back against perfection.
Absolutely. Ditch perfection, chase authenticity, be real, because authenticity, she argues, is magnetic. It pushes away the stuff that isn't right for you and pulls in what is.
You just glow differently when you feel good, not just when you're trying to look good.
Totally.
But okay, let's talk intuition. Because we're so often trained to ignore our gut feelings to be, nice or polite.
Oh, yeah. Given Mac really emphasizes that your body is giving you vital information. That sudden heart flutter, the wave of nausea, that's data. But our logical brain jumps in and says, don't be rude, or you're overreacting, especially when we fear causing a scene.
It reminds me of that book, The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker. He talks about how victims often look back and realize their body knew something was wrong. Heart pounding, feeling sick, but they ignored it.
Because the person seemed nice or they didn't want to make a fuss.
Yeah.
And that's the key takeaway. Trusting those physical signals isn't just about safety, it's fundamental self-respect. That's planting inner wealth, trusting your body over politeness.
Okay, so we've dug out the crap, we've planted seeds of self-trust and authenticity. Now for the, maybe, scariest part. Blooming into action. Actually doing things differently out in the world.
And this needs a big mental shift first. It's about valuing courage over confidence.
Meaning?
Meaning confidence isn't something you're born with or something you wait for. It's a result. It's a muscle you build by doing the scary thing, by getting proof you can survive it, even if you weren't perfect.
Right. She says if you wait until you feel 100% ready, you'll be waiting forever. Even if you're only 10% ready, you got to act.
Yes, the confidence follows the action, not the other way around. It's active creation versus just hoping.
And a huge part of that action, surprisingly, is about generosity. Setting boundaries is framed as generous. That felt counterintuitive at first.
It does, right? But think about it. Living deliciously, protecting your energy, isn't selfish because your joy, your calm, they're contagious. When you protect your energy, you show up better for others, less resentful, genuinely kinder, more present.
Okay, that makes sense. But generosity still needs a firm no. And she makes a great point. Just complaining isn't a boundary.
Not at all. A boundary is the actual line you draw, usually verbally, saying this far and no further. It's how you reclaim your energy.
And you have to be okay with it making other people uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah, you got to brace for that. The book basically says expect to feel like a bitch occasionally, but hold the line anyway. Your well-being matters more than their temporary convenience. That discomfort is part of the process.
Okay, beyond boundaries, what else is needed for blooming? She talks about reclaiming silliness.
Yes. Counteracting all that pressure to be serious and productive all the time. Reclaiming the soft, the playful, the maybe stereotypically feminine energy that's been kind of squashed by capitalism and, well, mild seriousness.
And this ties into her point about cringe, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. Cringe is such a powerful word online and off. Given sees it as a social control tool. We use it to police ourselves and others, making sure no one shows too much passion or vulnerability or, God forbid, earnestness.
Right. And the massive irony is that the very things we label cringy, that vulnerable ambition, the open passion, that sort of theater kid energy,
Yeah.
Those are the exact ingredients you need to live a big, open, delicious life. They take guts.
And often when you really look at why you're cringing at someone else, it's because they're doing something you secretly wish you had the nerve to do. They're showing you the limits you've put on yourself.
Oh, that's a challenging thought. Okay, so blooming also means fighting back against having our attention constantly stolen, creating those gaps intentionally.
Absolutely. If we're just endlessly scrolling or binge watching, filling every spare second, that inner joy we planted, it never gets a chance to surface. We have to consciously interrupt that.
What are some simple ways she suggests doing that, like practical things?
Really simple stuff. Go for a walk, leave your phone behind. Use habit stacking. Like, after I check this email, I will take one deep breath before clicking anything else. Yeah. Or just sit quietly for a minute instead of immediately grabbing your phone when you have downtime. Tiny moments that stop you outsourcing your calm.
And the final piece of blooming, romancing yourself. The luxury of the mundane.
Yeah, it's not about massive splurges. Joy is in the everyday sensory stuff. Romancing yourself is about consciously enhancing your environment for you. Lighting a nice candle just because. Wearing clothes that feel amazing even if no one sees them. Really smelling your coffee. Little things that tell your nervous system you're safe, you're worthy of pleasure.
So this whole journey, excavating, planting, blooming it all, builds towards one core idea about our own power, really.
Yeah, I think the absolute essence is realizing you are the director, writer, stylist, casting director, producer, all of it for your own life. You're not just a passive character reacting to your thoughts or what other people expect. You're holding the pen. Always.
And all these practices, authenticity, awe, play, boundaries, they're like building up this deep internal wealth, right? And in a sanctuary you can always return to.
Exactly. Accumulating wealth on the inside. And that leads to the final, really quite profound thought she leaves you with.
Okay, hit us with it.
She urges you to really sit with life's impermanence. Think about the ghost of your future self, looking back after this physical body is gone. That future self isn't going to be mourning the size of your thighs or what random strangers thought of you. She'll be mourning the swims you didn't take, the dances you didn't dance, the joy you held back because you were too busy shrinking or chasing some impossible ideal. Your soul wants this physical experience right now. The question is, will you let her have it?
Wow. That is definitely something to mull over. A really powerful challenge to end on. This has been a fantastic and honestly super practical bookish dive into Florence Given's Women Living Deliciously. Thanks for unpacking that with us.
Absolutely. Hopefully it gives you a little nudge to start romancing your own life, even in small ways.
Definitely. So if this chat sparked any ideas, or if you're keen on more deep dives into books like this, make sure you follow us. We'll bring you more analysis soon. Catch you next time.